Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing Kovath in the 5-minute pool on ICC. I am back recording after a few days break. I was really sick for a few days, actually for the past week. We'll play knight f3 here against the Nimzo-Indian. And this is the first time I've recorded a Blitz game in a few days. So I lost my voice for a little while, and yeah, it seems to be coming back now. I'd say I'm about 90%. So that's good enough to record on. So we're going to give it a try against Kovath. I actually just played a 3-minute game, and I won it, and it was actually a pretty nice game, and I forgot to record it, though. So I'm still a little bit out of it. I hope you guys forgive me. I'm going to go... I think I'm going to play f3 in this position, even though I don't want to. Actually, I'm going to play rook h2. This is kind of a weird move, but I'm trying to defend the g2 pawn by playing this. And next I hope to develop my light square bishop. And maybe I can put pressure on his h6 pawn is kind of what I'm hoping. So maybe now g4. Not quite sure I want to castle queenside yet. So I'm thinking maybe go knight f1 and put my knight on g3 and reassess thereafter. It's nice that if he puts a minor piece on e4, I can kick him away with f3. So I'm not worried about that. I expect him to break with one of his pawns soon, like probably c5 or e5 soon. Maybe not e5 because that would weaken the f5 square quite a bit, but definitely c5 is a move I think he'd be considering right now or on the next move. Because once I get knight g3 in, I mean, maybe I can play after that like f3, king f2, and double up on the h file that way. Maybe then I won't even have to castle. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and play that. I think rook c8 would make a lot of sense here. If he plays rook c8, he might be threatening to take on d4 and then push d5 in a lot of instances. I'll take this way. Plays d5. Okay. Yeah, for some reason I wasn't quite expecting this approach. I am going to take with my pawn, because I don't want him like pressuring me down the c file. Rook c8, huh? Just throwing an in-between move at me. If I play queen a4, I hit his pawn on a7. Don't know if I'm super keen to, win material, let's say, based on that, but now I'm going to keep my queen back for protection. I'm just going to go here. I expect him to take with the bishop, because knight takes would allow knight h5. I don't think he's going to do that. Takes with the queen, actually. Okay. Yeah, let's go f3. f3 with a loose plan of playing king f2. Just hope I'm not giving him enough time to like threaten me down the c file too much. I am like completely ceding him the c file right now. Who is this guy? Kovath. Oh, it's Darwin Yang. Okay. I didn't recognize this username, and I'm just checking his finger notes now. Darwin Yang. So, very strong young player. 17 years old. Yeah, I think he's a GM-elect. So, he has all his GM norms, and I think he just needs the rating. So, I played him in tournament chess, I'll say twice. We're 1-1. He beat me in our first encounter, and I beat him most recently. Very strong player. It's interesting. He's gone into the tank here. Yeah, so he's going to try to double up on the c file. Makes a lot of sense. Moves I'm considering right now are e4, king f2, of course. Maybe rook c1, although I don't like the look of that necessarily. I think he's kind of beating me to the punch on the c file is the problem here. I might have to go for e4. I'm going to do that move. And I hope he checks me so he can push my king to where it wants to go. Yeah, he can aim for an endgame, though, if he wants. Like, let's say check, and then king f2, and then queen c3. It's definitely possible. Against that move, I was thinking d5. And try to threaten knight h5 at the same time. Yeah, I guess I'll do this. He can give a check on c5, which kind of disrupts my play a little bit. Let's say queen c5 check, king f1, queen c3. He might have to put something on c3 to disrupt my whole knight h5 plan. Then if we trade on c3 and I take on e6, let's say, hard to say who's better in that resulting position. Okay, he actually plays rook c3. That's a little more ambitious. I'm thinking take on e6 or double up the rooks. Maybe take on e6. Yeah, let's take on e6 first. He can play queen c5 and deny me the ability to double my rooks on the h-file, but I kind of think that plan is a little bit too slow anyways. So I'm just going to go here. I'm not going to put that rook on the h-file. I think one rook on the h-file is enough. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I am ahead a little bit on time. It's not much, but you know, I'll take the 45 seconds, whatever it is. Okay, that's an interesting move. That threatens rook takes f3, amongst potentially some other things. What if I play knight h5 check and then rook d7? Oh no, that's bad. I gotta worry about my queen. Maybe queen b4. He's also maybe threatening knight takes g4. Ooh, that's really bad for me. Knight takes g4 is a big threat. Queen e5 is a good move. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I have to deal with now. Alright, I'm just going to try this move. And if he goes knight takes g4, I'm thinking I'm just going to play king g1. I'm going to let him take on h2 or g3. I'm going to try to get into e7 or go rook d7 maybe. Probably queen e7 if I get a chance. I don't know though. I mean, maybe even just rook f8 in this position for him. Although rook f8 I can play king g1, because his queen might be needed to guard c3 in some instances. It's a tricky position to play, the amount of time we have. He plays a safe move. Okay. That gives me a chance to recover a little bit. Okay, rook h, or, Just thinking how I want to do this. I'm going to go rook h3. I'm a little bit worried about rook c2. Mildly concerned about that. Yeah, rook c2 would be strong because it attacks a2 and it also attacks my bishop, which is somewhat in jeopardy right now. Although I guess I could play rook d2 on rook c2. Maybe he would have a5 in that case, though. Okay, that's my cue to run away, I think. Now he does that, okay. Alright, if...
Check.
Okay, so he's gonna... I'm gonna go here and try to threaten knight h5. No trade of queens. Let's get out of this pin. No draw.
Check.
Alright, I'm going for the win in this position. He just resigned. Okay, well, he probably saw that he was going to get flagged because there's no way he was going to resign in that position. Alright, well, let's have a look. So we got a Nimzo-Indian, and ironically, we played this in our last OTB game. In that game, I played queen c2 against him. In this one, I played knight f3, just kind of like a transpositional move. He played b6, that's really flexible. Bishop g5. I played a lot of different things in this position. e3 is a move to try to get back into like the Rubinstein variation of the Nimzo-Indian. G3 is possible. Queen c2 is possible. Bishop g5 as I played. It's a really flexible position for white, for both sides really. Knight f3 just fits into so many systems. By the way, if you guys are looking for a real great overview of the Nimzo-Indian, I highly recommend checking out Krzysztof Selecki's most recent video. That's Chess Explained, if you don't know who Krzysztof is. Chess Explained on YouTube. He gave a great overview of the Nimzo-Indian recently in his opening repertoire series, so go check that out. It's really awesome. And yeah, so here, h6, bishop h4, and then g5, bishop g3. I think his position was completely fine in the opening. I think this is actually a theoretical position. I'm not sure about my decision to play e3 versus e4. Somehow e3 felt correct in order to defend d4 a little bit better. Kind of like softens the blow against a c5 move from him. At the same time, the diagonal is more open for his bishop, so maybe I lose a tempo when I want to defend g2 like I had to in the game. Like here, I just love to be able to play bishop e2 or bishop d3, right? But he has bishop takes g2 if I play those. So I played rook h2, but you know, this isn't like the worst move in the world because I'm not really intending to castle kingside anyways at this point. And as you saw in the game, like there are a lot of circumstances where I might want to double up my rooks on the h-file. This is a nifty little maneuver, so playing g4 and then trying to stick the knight on g3. But overall, I think black's position is completely fine here. Excuse me. I was expecting him to be a little bit more crafty in this position and play like rook c8, just to mask his intentions about what he wants to do with the central tension. So I was a little surprised that he took directly and then played d5, but maybe this is okay. I mean, the way the game played out was fine for him, so. The engine says I should play c5 here. Let's just back it up and see what it says in this position. Anything wrong with rook f8? I don't think so. Yeah, rook c8 might be okay. So maybe I should have gone for c5 in this position. And then if take, what, take with the queen? Okay, and the bishop is kept out of play. I suppose that's, well, actually now it likes d takes c5. I guess that's the main appeal of playing c5 in response to black's d5 move, is that by him playing d5, he's voluntarily shutting down this bishop's diagonal for the time being. So maybe the way to highlight that is to play c5. Yeah, actually, taking with the d-pawn makes much more sense now that I think about it, because maybe I can engineer a scenario like I tried to get in the game, which is put the queen on this diagonal leading towards his king, and try to play knight h5 check. That was the theme in the game. So take, yeah, it looks like I'm ceding him the initiative here. I thought he was going to take with the bishop. He took with the queen. I mean, I think summing this position up, his control of the c-file is more relevant than my pressure on the h-file and like these, you know, pseudo threats I have against his king with knight h5 or like e4 and d5. Those threats of mine shouldn't really work out, whereas his c-file pressure is very real, and already he's just threatening to double up, and I think his coordination is just much better than mine right here. Maybe not hugely so, but
Check.
just seems like it'd be easier to play black's position now. Yeah, the engine like slightly prefers him. And this seemed interesting, so I went for it. Idea knight h5. I was really expecting him to play like queen c5 check, and then after king f1, queen c3, just to try to force an endgame and thereby deal with the knight h5 threat that way. But nope, instead he played rook c3, which looks like a good move. Rook d1, yeah, I'm in big trouble here if he plays it correctly. Queen e5, that was strong, because now he's threatening this rook takes f3, discovered check, and discovery on my queen. Excuse me. So I played queen b4, trying to get into e7, Yeah, I was wondering about
Check.
this move. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go for it or maybe think about it more, because if I take, he takes on g3 with the queen.
Check.
It's devastating. So I was planning king g1, and I wasn't sure about the consequences of this, but actually it might be just like kind of a bluff. d7, queen c5 check. Aha, trading queens. Okay. That's kind of scary, though, in time pressure, to allow me to play this move, queen e7. I'm not sure he was looking at king g8. Like, I know I was only looking at king g6 coming forward, which also might be okay. Maybe a little less clear. So he didn't opt for that. He just played after queen e5, queen b4. He just did rook c7, a sensible move to guard e7. I was pretty sure I was worse at this point, but the time situation makes up for it in some respect. Yeah. Again, he had this knight takes g4 move. Why is that? So take queen f4. I thought I could play bishop f3, but I guess not. Queen e3. Oh, and bishop a6 is killer. Okay. My king is kind of caught in the crossfire here. Knight e2, rook c1. And the hits just keep on coming. Yeah, I have too much stuff pinned and a weak back rank. Yeah. So objectively, my position's not good, but with a minute left for both of us, I mean, anything can happen. Wouldn't be surprised by any result here. Yeah, and then we got this trade in, and, you know, he just took a little bit too much time beating the position, and I think I probably have an advantage when we get down to like a real fast scenario with my bullet practice and such.
Check.
I definitely don't mind that. But I'd be looking to keep this time advantage anyways. Yeah, and as you can see, he resigned in a position where the computer thinks he's a half pawn better. It's just he probably didn't want to play out this time scramble 20 seconds down. So, all right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that game against Mr. Darwin Yang. Sorry for my voice once again. I'm going to be back to normal pretty soon. I'm probably not going to record my standard game today just because I don't know if I can talk for 45 minutes or however long the standard game plus analysis will take. But hope to be back to my customary 3 videos very, very soon, probably tomorrow. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please leave me any feedback in the comments. Bye, guys.